Hello, I'm Ahmed Jalili, and this is Please Tell Me a Story, the game where storytelling goes wrong. Once again, I'm joined by Felicity Ward, Nabil Abdul Rashid, Helen Bauer, Megan Jane Crabb, and Mark Thomas. Hi, gang.
Hi.
Each week, one of us tells a story, then we tell it to each other again and again and again, all from memory. If it sounds like it could go badly, that's because it will.
Right, Mark, you are being a consistent problem for me over this series.
The fuck?
I know.
And that is exactly how it went.
Was there
No questions!
The master of the big blue storytelling chair this week is Helen Bauer. Helen, give us a feel for your story. If you could make a sound effect to convey the sense of your story, what would it be?
I can do a longer one.
Okay, maybe go.
That sounded drier than the first one.
I know,
but
like
sound
sounded like
wet.
one of them Formula One cars.
Yeah, that did.
As a jazz fan, I can join in.
Not now, no.
That was a remarkable moment.
Thank you.
Remember, if you're listening to the show, you can actually watch us by searching Please Tell Me a Story on YouTube. Helen, your time has come. I'll be back at the end to hear your story. And I know it's going to be a good one. So, let's go.
Please tell me a story.
Helen Bauer has taken her place in the big blue storytelling chair, and across the table sits Felicity to hear the story first.
Helen, please tell me a story.
Felicity, this is my story. Okay, this is going to be a lot of trauma dumping on you, but I feel like you can handle it because you freaking love a trauma bond.
We've done it before.
Yes, please. Okay. In year 3, so 7 years old, it was Red Nose Day. Red Nose Day is a big deal, right? Because you get to go into school wearing something different. At our school, it was red bottoms, okay?
Hello.
So I'm at school and I'm like, oh my God, it's Red Nose Day tomorrow. I haven't told my mum yet. And like, she's going to be like, oh my God, we don't have anything red at home. So we go to a charity shop, find something red. Cords. Hello, best day of my freaking life.
Lovely stuff.
Pop the cords on, school next day. Didn't realise, and you might know this, cords really hard to unbutton when you've got little hands. I'm only 7.
Button fly?
Button and fly, but really like stiff and tight, horrible.
Yeah. Once it's in.
I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
Are you tall at this point?
Oh, I'm always tall.
Yeah, you were born tall.
Yeah.
What were you born, like 3.5 foot?
Born 3.5 foot, got to about 8 foot by the time I was 7. And I really need a wee-wee. And like, it takes a long time to get the confidence to put your hand up in class and say, I need a wee-wee.
Yes.
But I did it. I got there. I was confident enough to go like, I need a wee-wee. Let me go wee-wee.
That, I mean, to be fair, it doesn't surprise me that I can't ever imagine you not having
so
confidence.
Shy. You must tell everyone how shy I was.
You are a little
So
wallflower.
So nervous. And I went, please, can I go wee-wee? And I went to the toilets to wee-wee and I went in the stool and I was trying to undo it and it wouldn't undo. And you know when you start panicking and then you start sweating and you don't know whether it's sweat or urine because everything's coming out so fast.
Had it
And
just
then-
before.
Right. What, today?
Just then.
I'm 7. This is dignity. That's a whole different thing.
Okay.
So I come out of the bathroom stall and I'm looking in the mirror because I think if I can look at it, it'll be like easier and maybe I'll be able to like calm down a little bit. But I don't. And I start weeing myself and I watch the red cords get darker and darker and darker. But I'm also a psychopath of a 7-year-old enough to know not to walk back into the classroom. Like that is social suicide. So
Yeah.
I managed to get across the library to get to the nurse's office because I know there's spare skirts in there. How do I know that? Something happened in year 2. Don't want to talk about it right now. We'll get into something else later, okay? So I go to the nurse's office. She doesn't have any spare red cords. What?
Is this even, is this a school?
Is she prepared? Is she prepared?
She's not red nose prepared.
She gives me a grey skirt. So then I have to make up this lie about how like, oh, I couldn't wear the red cords because they made my knees itch. They were really itchy because I was like a good liar already. Like
Also
this is
no
a classic
surprise
lie.
to me.
So like running around the playground being like, oh, I couldn't wear it because it made my knees itch and I thought it was going to be on fire and the nurse was really concerned that it was a hospital thing. But I said, no, I've really got to stay. So I managed to get away with it. And I think that is the last year you're allowed to piss yourself at school. That is it. That's it. You're 7 years old. That's year 3. 7 is the last time you're allowed to piss yourself at school.
What about at home?
Okay. You know what?
25?
We'll talk about that past the episode because I feel like there's a lot going on there and I had a cough that went wrong the other day. Okay. So actually keep that in. A cough that went wrong.
Okay, cough went wrong.
Thank you very much. So year 4, year after, I'm 8 years old. What's worse than pissing yourself?
Poos.
Of course.
Doing poos.
But it happened on the worst day of all time. It was just another, like, it's a big
Swimming
day at
carnival?
school. Swimming carnival would have been freaking incredible. Could you imagine?
Halfway up the pool.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What a day.
Yeah.
It's tough in us, isn't it?
And in butterfly, I imagine. That's when you want it to come out. Well,
just like bobbing out of you.
or
As long as you...
because of the pressure. Because no one can naturally do butterfly at age 8.
Did you used to piss in the pool, though? I would always, like, piss
I
whilst
used to?
moving.
Come on, mate.
She's a lady.
Whoa.
In year 4, we had this project day that was so exciting. And it was the paper bag princess was the project day. The paper bag princess.
Love
So
it.
good.
Love it.
And so on this day, one person in each group gets to play the princess. Now, that role is mine and you freaking know it.
Obviously.
Okay? I put myself forward. I've got the role. My fear of going to the toilet and leaving my group behind is so high because I freaking knew that Kath Soper wanted that role as well.
Oh,
Because she
God.
got a good part in the school play that year and I feel like she did it to, like, fuck me over because
She's
that's
a
just the
bit
sort
of
of
a
4-year-old
bitch.
she is. Hi, Kath, if you're listening, though. What a
baby.
fun gal. Really good playwright. Congratulations. She was in my group and I really needed the bathroom. I knew I needed a poo, but I was like, I'll go at break. But then that miracle happened when break starts and you don't need to poo anymore because you've forgotten about it. And then all of a sudden it comes back to you. So it gets to 1 p.m. and like break's finished and I really need the toilet. Like I actually need it. And then I'm like, oh my God, if I leave, Kath Soper's going to take the job. So it just starts happening. And you know when it's happening. And I'm turtle heading and it's not a turtle that you can cut off. It's actually going for it. I'm in the library. I'm being measured up for the paper dress. It's come out. It's in my knickers. I have a log in my knickers and I am a princess. And that doesn't feel like princess behavior to have a log in your knickers. But there's nothing I can do. I mean, obviously hindsight, just put your hand in your knickers, take the poo out and put it in the toilet. Not like in the library, in the
Or
actual
just like
stall.
pop it out like an ice cube.
Oh my God, you are so smart.
I've done this before.
But I didn't do it. I was in such a state of panic and I was a tiny little dot. I was only 6 foot and like
honey.
200 pounds. I was little,
Gentle.
just tiny. And I was in my princess and I had poo in my knickers. And I didn't know what to do and I felt like I couldn't deal with it at school. So I walked home all the way through town and I felt like everyone knew I had poo in my knickers. And I got home and I put the poo in the toilet, but there was poo in my knickers left over and I didn't want to tell my mummy, so I just said I didn't wear any knickers that day.
Honey, you know what? I've put a pair of underpants in the bin before. And that was 2019.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I've put underpants in the bin since then. Like, just like period piss poo, like there's always something coming out
There's
of me.
always.
In general,
it
I'm quite
never
moist.
ends.
And that's exactly how it goes.
I took in every word.
Thank you.
Quite a graphic, stressful and traumatic story from Helen there. I'm not sure that sharing it with us lot is going to help her get the closure she obviously needs. Let's see what happens to the tale as it gets told by Felicity, Megan and Mark.
Felicity,
Megan,
Mark,
please.
tell me a story.
This is Helen's story as told by moi.
Told to Felicity, who has then told me.
who then in turn told it to Megan, who told it to me.
I am 10 years old. I'm in year 3 and it's Red Nose Day. Excuse me. I had some lentils for lunch.
Helen is 10 years old
Right.
and she has to wear red bottoms to school for Red Nose Day to raise awareness.
If she'd gone wearing any other kind of colour, it would have been totally inappropriate and they would have laughed at her. They would have mocked her. She would have indeed been mocking the whole day, possibly setting fire to Africa itself.
I'm like, I'm got to do Helen, so, oh, Mum. I go, Mum, I haven't got any red. It's Red Nose Day tomorrow, so I need something. And because she's a mum, she's got an even deeper voice. She's like, all right, love.
Helen's mum decides to take her to the Chazza. She takes her to the Chazza at the charity shop and thereafter finds a pair of red trousers.
And after acquiring the red pants, Helen's all set for school the next day. She feels great. She gets dressed and her mum has to sew her into the pants.
Whoa.
This is real skin-tight stuff.
Whoa.
So she's in class and she's like, oh, I've got to do wheeze. Hang on, I've got to do wheeze here. I need to, but I'm only 10 and so I'm nervous about putting my hand up. And so she finally plucks up the courage to say, I've got to go to the toilet. And the teacher's like, yeah, you deserve to go to the toilet. Very supportive school.
She doesn't make it. Urine flows down the thighs of her blood red, sparkling, satinish pants sewn in like Hannibal Lecter in Savile Row.
So she goes straight to the nurse, and the nurse says, "All right, my dear, how can I help you today?" And Helen says,
Oh, did she have a basket of apples, one of which was very shiny?
And so all she has is a grey skirt. Bummer. So she wears the grey skirt, she goes back into class, and they're like, "Oi, why are you not wearing red?
"It's Red Nose Day."
It's Red Nose Day." And
Fuck's
then
sake,
and
Helen.
she's like, "Oh, I'm colourblind." And they're like, "I'm so sorry, we didn't know this about you."
It's a year later. And it's for some reason not Red Nose Day again. It is Paper Bag Princess Day.
I don't know what that is.
It is
I now understand it completely.
Paper Bag Princess Day.
Paper Bag Princess Day.
It's Princess Paper Bag Day.
The fuck?
I know. Apparently, Princess Paper Bag Day is where you go in and everyone staples paper bags to you and makes a princess paper bag. And this...
What kind of fuckery's holiday is that, man?
I don't know. I'm going to say St. George's Day.
So on Paper Bag Princess Day, it was Helen's turn to be the princess. And she's so excited. She's been looking forward to this her whole life.
Yeah.
Except, and there's a girl, I can't remember what her name is, let's call her Chatty Cathy.
Her frenemy, Sandra.
And she said, "Oh, you're going to be Princess Paper Bag." And she really wanted to be Princess Paper Bag, except she wasn't given a chance to be Princess Paper Bag. So what happens is, it's Helen's turn. It's her time. So she staples. She starts to staple.
It's her turn? Wait, it's her turn to
It's
what?
Helen. They staple bags to her.
So
I
they
don't
do it turn by turn?
understand. They staple bags, paper bags
But is it
to
turn
her.
by turn? Do they go one by one and get stapled?
Yes.
Helen started feeling like she needed to do a poo.
Does she? Is that kind of like a sort of fear poo, a trauma poo?
It could be. I'm just getting the sense that Helen has just a lot of movement in that area. And
I've got a great soundtrack in my mind.
Go on.
Like that.
That really transported me there.
But she's in the library getting the paper princess put onto her body. I don't know. I think it's just like underneath is just like undies and nipple covers. She's 10. I can't imagine she had boobs. Maybe she did. I'm going to say...
Did you wear nipple covers at 10?
No, I didn't have boobs until I was about 15, my friend. So I would have just stood naked from the waist up and gone, "Suck it in! What are you looking at? Nothing!"
And what happens is the rumble in a tumble turns into a poo tumble.
A log nugget in her trow.
And she shits in the pants that she was wearing.
I can bluff this, except her frenemy was backstage. Backstage, downwind, front seat of the choo-choo.
And she just walks around with a poo for 2 hours at school, and everybody knew she smelt like poo.
They all danced round her singing, "Pooey pants, you got pooey pants. You think you're Princess Paper Bag, but you're not. You're a pooey pant slag."
At 11, her friends called her a slag.
I might have made that bit up.
Out of everything, that's the thing you might have made up.
Pretty much.
And that is exactly how it goes.
And that's exactly how it goes.
And that's exactly how it goes.
A rumble in Helen's tumble turned into a... And who knows what Paper Bag Princess Day is all about. Nabil now takes his place in the chair, and in comes Ahmed.
So, Nabil, at the beginning, Helen made some kind of sound that sounded like someone breaking wind or a Formula One track. We weren't so sure about that. So now you're going to tell us what that story is. So please tell me a story.
Right. God give me strength. So this is Helen's story as told to Felicity, who told Megan, who told Mark, who then managed to tell me.
Operative word here being managed.
Barely. So it was, we're traveling back in time to when Helen was just 10, and it was Red Nose Day. And obviously, as it was Red Nose Day, Helen wanted to go to school wearing something red, because if you don't wear something red to Red Nose Day, that's terrible. That's almost as bad as gluten, and that's really bad. So she is taken to the Chaza, the charity shop, by her mom, and she finds this beautiful pair of red pants sewn by angels and fairies themselves. They were beautiful. Problem was, they didn't fit. But Helen's mom, being the genius that she is, she took them apart and sewed them onto Helen. Iron Man, you know, with the suit.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, like that. And so...
But you said chazas as well. Is that a word that you've made up, or is that the word you heard in the story?
That was the word that was related to me via Mark.
Okay.
And I'm
The
just
chaza.
trying to follow my chain of narration. So, yeah, it's sewn on. It's super tight. And Helen realizes that she needs to pee. She attempts to go to the bathroom, and this was an attempt in futility. She pissed herself. She peed herself like it was going out of fashion. And in her wisdom, she knew that she couldn't dare go to class with piss pants, because then they'd be like, piss pants, piss pants, piss pants, piss pants, piss pants, piss pants, piss pants. You know, children, so creative when it comes to ridiculing and mocking and causing emotional damage. So fast forward a year later, and they were having this very, very bizarre tradition. I don't know if she went to like some kind of pagan occultic school or something, but they had this thing called Brown Paper Bag Princess Day.
Brown Paper Bag Princess Day.
Yes, Brown Paper Bag Princess Day. As bizarre as that sounds, apparently children go in and there's some bizarre ritual where they staple brown paper bags onto you on stage. I don't know, possibly before setting you on fire in a wicker man and sacrificing you to Pan, or perhaps Pierogi, the Slavic thunder god. Anyway, she actually his name is Perun, not Pirog. Pirog is a wonderful.
Oh, I thought this is just your own little embellishment, but this is something that you heard. It was there was some.
No. Perun was indeed the Slavic thunder god, pretty much like a Polish Thor.
Okay.
Or Ukrainian Thor, a Slavic Thor.
A Slavic thunder god.
Yes.
Okay.
He'd strike down your foes with lightning for a much cheaper price than Thor himself.
Okay.
And she turned up, and she had a friend that's a frenemy, which I think is a custom for the female of the species. Misogyny. No, anyway, she had a friend that was a frenemy. And they go on, and it's her turn to get stapled with brown paper bags, because what girl does not want to be stapled with brown paper bags? And they're stapling her. Helen Bauer she's got Notorious Bowels. It's her rap name. Helen Notorious Bowels Bauer. You know, she descends from a long line of people with notorious bowels. In fact, Bauer just means notorious bowels in German. True story.
Right.
So she felt like a rumble in her stomach. She thought, oh, it should be fine. But it wasn't.
Oh, she shit herself.
Yes, there was the sound of a, yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. In fact, can we just have two more? Because apparently it was quite big. It was a, yeah. And her friend heard it and probably caught the fragrance and the aroma of this bowel projectile that she had fired.
Yes.
And alerted her friends, and they all like danced around her. Again, very pagan, if you ask me. And they were all like, you pooped your pants, you pooped your pants, you pooped your pants, you pooped your pants, you pooped your pants. Yeah, and that was the ending of Brown Paper Bag Princess Day. Take this trauma and do with it what you will.
Thank you, Nabil. That sounds like a great retelling of a remarkably edifying story.
And that's exactly how it went.
Wow.
Edifying, providing moral or intellectual instruction. It's now time for Helen to hear what's happened to her story.
What I will tell you, I will break it down to the bare essentials. And if it's close to your story. It is quite remarkable. It's a remarkable story, if it's what I hear.
Okay, I'm interested now.
All right, thank you so much.
I say it was traumatizing, but remarkable is interesting. Ahmed, please tell me my story.
You are 10 years old and you're at school. It's Red Nose Day.
Nice. Yeah.
All right, and it's Red Nose Day, and somehow in your head, as a child, you believe you have to wear red. So
Yeah, that's just a me thing.
it's just a you thing. Yeah, it's just a you thing. It's just you, nobody else. So you go with your mother to shops, and you find this beautiful. What I thought was a dress to start off with. It was a dress, but then he said it's pants. Then I asked him, is it pants, trousers? And he says, no, it's a pair of trousers.
Yeah.
But they're too small for you. So your mother very carefully makes them bigger and sews you into these pants, which now I understand is probably underwear, almost like a nappy. And you're going very well, and everyone's so happy for you. Oh, Helen Bauer is wearing red on Red Nose Day, but then you desperately need to go to the toilet, but you don't find anywhere for the toilet because you're sewed in. So you're holding it back, and then you fill your pants with piss.
Oh, wow.
And
That is sewn to my body.
Which is sewn to your body, so you can't get rid of it. So it's a big bubble of piss which you're carrying around with you for a while, and it slowly starts trickling. It can't hold because it's pants, it's trickling down, and the piss comes away. And you go to the school nurse, who then cuts them off, and then
Cuts them off like bad Sandy and Grease. Like, what are we... Okay.
Yeah, that's what happens. But then what happens is she suggests that you go to some pagan shop where you want to become... I've just forgotten the word. You go to some pagan shop where you want to be the grey pants... grey bag princess.
The grey bag princess with the sound effect, yeah.
It's the grey... You go to see the grey bag princess shop. So they put on these big grey pants, which are...
Why big? Why do we keep saying big? Why is everything too small for me?
Because
like, who added this detail?
Well, the thing
I'm
is...
on the fat shamer's head on a spike.
And before where they were sewn in, now these pants have to be stapled into you.
Yeah, the big pants need to be stapled to the big girl.
They're stapled onto you, and you are aware it is going onto your skin and you're getting hurt.
Yeah, that would hurt, wouldn't it?
But it's not. Doesn't seem to be a problem. So then you're on stage doing this number, a dance number, and you feel some gas is building.
Okay,
now this
great.
makes sense because at the beginning I asked you what's the sound, and you seem to make some kind of gaseous noise with your mouth, and then you've actually followed through. So what's happened is
Followed through.
you have then shit yourself on stage.
Oh, God.
And it's not just a big one, it's a double. It's a double.
It's a double.
There you go.
Are you freaking kidding
filled
me?
these pants, which are now so huge. Now you also...
they're big. They're big. We get it. It's a big poo and a big pants for a big girl. Yes.
But you do... Oh, I forgot to...
I'm going to need Nabil and Mark in here in a minute.
All right.
Thank you.
But the one thing I did forget to mention, that you do have a frenemy. Frenemy seems to be a thing for girls. Apparently someone who is your friend but also your enemy.
Right,
She
all
is
the
now...
boys in here, please.
She's now smelled this, and then the whole school comes out and starts chanting at you because you're not wearing red, which is a big thing, and they say, you're not wearing red, plus you pissed yourself, now you shit yourself, and you shit yourself twice, actually. And so now you then reveal that actually my name is Bauer, which means German for someone who is full of shit and has to fill. So basically, you're full of shit Bauer, which is what Bauer means.
My original name, Scheissenvoll.
Scheissenvoll is actually your original name. So you then, the only way you can resolve this is by giving everyone a speech about Jesus.
Obviously, I'm 10. I'm a big lass. I want to preach.
Yes.
Yeah, it all makes sense. And is it still Red Nose Day at the moment?
It's still Red Nose Day.
Absolutely insane.
And that is how the story went.
Right, I'm going to need everyone in here right now.
And like lambs to the slaughter, in they come.
Helen, please tell us your story.
Gladly, because you all messed it up and ruined my day. Okay, it's very simple. It's year 3. I'm 7 years old. I'm not 10.
Oh, God.
7. And it's Red Nose Day. And it's very normal at schools for Red Nose Day that you get to wear something red. It wasn't like just a crazy me thing that I was walking around wearing red stuff no one else was. And at our school, it was to wear red bottoms. So skirt, trousers, skirt, whatever you freaking fancy. I didn't have anything red. I forgot to tell my mum about it. So we went to a charity shop the day before and we found some red cords that fit. A what?
Chazza.
A chazza for a charity shop.
Did you use the word chazza?
No.
I used the word chazza.
Okay,
sorry.
right, Mark,
okay.
you are being a consistent
that's
problem
what
for
I
me
understood. What is
over
a
this
chazza?
series. You are trying to be difficult.
Genuinely not. Charity shop just isn't. My son always abbreviates it to a chazza.
Okay, but am I your son? Am I your
No,
son?
but I mean, it's
no.
a chazza. I'm just telling it. I'm just saying
Okay,
it's
you
a
know
chazza.
what? Can
It's
everyone
chazza
please
word.
just calm down and let a woman speak in 2023?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Charity shop is actually an Australian. Oh, sorry.
Can I ask a question?
Yes?
Is the use of the word chazza the thing that really upset you?
No, obviously not, because I didn't even get Chazza back to me.
Why are you so angry?
I'm not angry. I'm genuinely so zen right now.
What I'm hearing is anger. What I'm sensing is deep dissatisfaction with the
No,
way the
I-
song, the story was given back to you. And I was the last person, so I'm so sorry.
Do you need the toilet now?
A great question.
No, I just tried and nothing came out.
Oh, we've been there before, though, haven't we?
It's always good to check, and I
What
know
does
that now.
Bauer actually mean?
Yes.
Farmer or peasant? Right.
Okay, all right.
Can I please tell
Carry
my
on,
story?
carry
I'm sorry.
on.
I feel like I'm being screamed
Sorry,
at.
I'm
and
being
I do
chairman.
feel like Mark Thomas shouldn't be in here.
As chairman, I'd like you to continue, please.
Danke sehr.
Donkey's where?
Fuck you! Right.
Jesus Christ.
I go to the charity shop. There's some trousers in my size because I got it back to me that they didn't fit me. They were too small. Obviously, they fit me, okay? Fuck. Ugh. So I get some trousers. They're cords. So they're very tight and they're very hard to undo because they're very stiff corduroy.
Can I please have an impression of your younger self, your mother, and the school nurse? Because I think that's a very important detail that we've missed.
Okay, that's super fun that impressions were brought into it because I don't believe I did.
Oh, that would be you then, Felicity.
Interesting, Felicity.
I thought it was important to bring character to the show.
Oh, so my story was lacking.
In character range, yes.
Could I
It was-
please hear, Mark, we'll get to you in one moment, my puppet. Felicity, can you just quickly give me a me?
Can you give me a sentence?
My name's Helen and I've pissed myself.
My name's Helen and I've pissed myself.
Right, we're moving on. Mark?
I would just like it noted that I had nothing to do with this fuck up.
Yeah, that was me.
Noted. Nabil?
Okay, Nabil.
So no one sewed your trousers onto you?
No one sewed trousers. What sort
Are
of
you
mother sews trousers to her child's skin with her big trousers and her big pants? Because Helen was so big she couldn't fit in her trousers. She needed it sewed
I'm
onto
sorry,
her.
That's what I was told that
So
they
by
do.
Mark.
In fairness, I asked Felicity this and she said yes.
No, what? That's a lie.
Moving on. It's a year later. It's year 4. I am 8 years old. 8. I wasn't 10 when I shit myself at school. It's a special day at school. It's the paper bag princess day. Princess. It's a princess
what the
day.
hell
we
is
got
that?
that. Paperback princess.
It's a
Day.
princess sound.
No, but the paper bags.
What's a paper
It's,
bag?
it's
kind
an
of
event.
fuckery?
It's an event where it's a book called The Paper Bag Princess, and everyone, thank you, goes into groups, and you have to pick one person in the group to be the princess, and then you put on a play as the princess and tell the
So
story.
you don't all line up
and-
and get stapled.
No one gets stapled. No child is stapled with their big knickers and their big poo. Nothing like that happens. Stop pointing at Felicity. Okay, when you point a finger at someone, 3 are pointing back at you.
Not if
Work
you
on
do
yourself,
this.
Mark. But I pooed myself and it was awful. Thank you. And then I kept pooing myself. It was just like poo after poo after poo after poo. And when it was told back to me, it made it sound like I was this gaseous ball who pooed herself and it all exploded and I was a big pooey girl at at the age of 10, but I was 8. And yes, a bit of poo came out, but I wouldn't say it was a bubble in my trousers like was told back to me, because I had some dignity and some class. And yes, there was a poo in my trousers. And yes, I didn't know what to do with it because I just had little knickers on, and then my paper bag dress was just sort of riding up. And yes, I walked home from school with it in my knickers because I didn't know what to do and I didn't want to take it out. And then I went home and I took the poo out my knickers and I put it in the toilet, but I didn't want to tell my mum about the poo situation, so I threw it away and said I just didn't wear knickers that day. And that is exactly how it went.
Was there
no
dance?
questions?
There was no dance around you about poo. The kids didn't dance around you. Are you sure?
Can I also clear one thing up before we end the episode?
Is it your butt?
Since then, I have only pooed myself a couple of times. Okay? Only a couple, and I think that does happen to everyone. And I think women's bodies should be respected for the shit machines they are. I would also like to point out that at some point, one of you decided that Bauer meant full of shit, which I think is mad, because that's obviously scheissenvoll. Okay? I've hated every second of this. Thank you for having me, Ahmed.
Thank you, Helen. The moral of the story is, I just want everyone to know, I did say, why are we having Helen Bauer back? Because I think now we've seen.
I agree.
I did say, why is she here? But now we see why. And I'm not saying that positively or negatively.
No,
I'm
I
just
get
saying
it. It
now
was
we
a
see
bad
it.
choice. I get it.
Coming up next week, make sure you join in where we will have Nabil in the big blue storytelling chair.
In the clean.
Goodbye! You ruined the goodbye!
I feel like everyone just ruined my wedding day.
Please tell me a story.